Last week we focused on story of the call of the fishermen. Today we kind of switch gears and we're on a mountaintop. And Jesus is preaching. It's called the Sermon on the Mount from the 5th chapter of Matthew. And we're so familiar with some of the verses. Blessed are you who are poor in spirit. Blessed are you who mourn. Blessed are you who are meek. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are you. Blessed are you. But today we're going to skip the blessings. And we're going to go to the stuff we hardly ever preach about, and that's salt and light. People are on a mountain. They don't know what they're doing. That's the truth. They have no idea what direction they're supposed to take. They have no idea how their ministry is supposed to unfold. And they're sitting there and waiting for marching orders. Jesus, what are we supposed to do? We're confused. Reminds me of Charlie Brown and Lucy. Charlie Brown goes to Lucy's makeshift psychiatrist's office. Where it says psychiatrist is in, 5 cents. He says, I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life. I have no idea. I don't know what to do. She says, Charlie Brown, life is like an ocean liner. He says, what? She says, life is like an ocean liner. Some people take their deck chair and they put it on the front to see where they've been, or in the back rather, to see where they've been. And others put it on the front to see where they're going. Some people to see where they've been, some people to see where they're going. So she says, Charlie Brown, on the ocean liner of life, which way is your deck chair facing? There's kind of a pause, and Charlie Brown says, I don't know. I've never been able to get mine unfolded. That's how the people felt in that mountain. I mean, they didn't know where they were going. They didn't know what they were going to do. And then Jesus says, you are salt of the earth. You are light for the world. Depending where you're from, you have some relationship to salt. If you're one of those people who favor the golden arches, you're a saltaholic. That's what you are. Because the stuff there is just loaded with salt, isn't it? It sure tastes good. So you're used to salt. If you're from rural areas, you also know that salt softens hard water. A lot of people in rural communities have to have salt because of their water. And if you live in Wisconsin for the last 3 weeks, and what we've experienced in our roads, we need salt, haven't we? It's been all over our roads because of the ice. In the Holy Land, again, if you've not been here for a few weeks, the Holy Land is Norway. They use salt for fish because the people on the interior can't get fish. So what they do is they take this cod and they put salt and they preserve it with salt so the people in the interior of Norway can have fish during the winter time. People on the southern coast, they have fish all the time because it's a mild North Sea. Now, they did salt that fish in the interior until Canute, the guy's name was Canute, he said, instead of putting the fish in salt, we could put it in lye. That's what we clean toilets with. Yeah, seriously. And thus we have lutefisk. That's how it was developed. You didn't know that. Now, here's one thing you never knew. At Jesus' time, they didn't have a lot of wood, and they needed to cook. Wood was scarce. So they used an alternative source of fuel. Do you know what the alternative source was?
Dung.
What?
Dung.
Yeah, it's done to you too. It was cow manure. It was dung. It was cow poop. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah, and you know what happened when they put salt on the cow manure, dung, or cow poop? It didn't taste good. No, that's good. Let's lock that person up. No. It didn't taste good. It burned hotter. And it burned longer. That's what it means. Jesus says, you are salt for the earth. Now burn my message in the hearts of people. I'm a 17-year-old kid in high school. I'm studying math and physics at this nerdy high school. You had to take a test to get in. That's all we had is math, physics, quantum physics. We had chemistry and French. I'm with 6,000 nerds. The Spirit blows and says, Dennis, you're going to be salt and light for people. Give up the math. Garbage. And I said, why me? And he says, why not you? Now I'm in Harlem. I'm a social worker. I'm working with people. The wind blows and it says, Dennis, now you're going to be salt and light for the church and tell them about me. And I said, why me? He said, why not you? You may have similar stories. And you may say, hey, wait a second, I don't want to be light. Why me? And Jesus says, no, you are light. You are salt. Now, the crazy thing about this gospel lesson, and I don't understand it completely, you would think that Jesus says, you know, if you really study my word, if you shape up, if you stop stubbing your toe, if you stop sinning, if you stop goofing up, you could become salt. You could become light. You could do it if you just shaped up. He doesn't say that. He simply says, you are salt and you are light. And you keep saying, why me? And Jesus keeps saying, why not you? Why not be salt for the kids at Peace Lutheran Church? Why not be salt teaching Sunday school? Why not be salt for the community that needs our help? Why not be light for those who are hungry? Why not be light for those who are struggling? Why not be light for the immigrants all over our country? We are salt. We are light. We're not going to become salt and light. We are salt and light. And yet we say, why me? And God says, why not you? There's an athlete who's about 5'11". He's not even 200 pounds, and he plays for an NFL team on the West Coast where they throw fish at Pike's Market. Yeah, I know, that's Seattle. Now, he's the only player in Seattle I like, only because he played for the Badgers. And Russell, like most kids, would throw the ball to his father in the yard, and his father would throw it back. And Russell, like all of us, had those dreams, you know. His dream was, wow, I could be a NFL quarterback. I could be big time. It's like Marlon Brando in the cab saying, I could have been a contender. But he goes to his father and he says, Dad, I'm too small. I'm too little. I'm not strong enough. And his father looks at him and says, Russell, why not you? Why not you? And the rest was history, really. He came to believe that, yeah, why not me? You are salt. You are light. And you can look at God and say, I'm not smart enough. I'm not big enough. I don't know enough. I make too many mistakes. And God looks at you and says, no. You say, why me? And I say, why not you? You are salt of the earth. Thanks be to God. Amen. We're going to sing Shout to the North.